Well, good evening, all. Ira Epstein with your evening Stock Spider ETF update for this Sunday, the 1st of March, 2020. In terms of market action for news, we're going to get the S&P final February manufacturing PMI at 845. The ISM manufacturing report will come out at 9. They're looking for it down a little from the last report. And of course, we have war with Iran. Now, I gave a rather lengthy dissertation on what I think is taking place and will take place in my financial update, so I invite one and all to go there to see it, not here. I want to do it once. It's rather lengthy, and I think it's very, very complete. I can tell you that tonight when we opened, we're down in the Dow about 500 points and relatively amounts similar to that in percentages in most of the stock indices. The dollar slightly higher. Gold was up $120 an ounce. Silver was sharply higher, not so in copper or the platinum markets. You're also not seeing a big run to the U.S. bonds or the notes. They were up, but nothing real big. It's energy that was up with the metals, and it should be, because in the energy markets, the Strait of Hormuz is now closed. Ships have been attacked there. Iran has hit 3 different ships in the area. None of them, to the best of everything I'm reading, are leaking oil, but they'll have to make it to port and see what kind of damage is there, and that's a good piece of news. And of course, you know about the war, you know about the leadership of Iran being taken out already. So why don't we just go to the markets and see what happened on Friday and take it from there? As I said, I cover in the gold and the financial markets with live quotes. I waited to do this so you'd have that update. In Cloudflare, it's just been beaten up and continues to be. And of course, everything in tech probably gets a little push if the stock market is down sharply in the morning. Things have a way in these wars of making a market pump up or down. And because of the war, it quickly ends. It's really not the case for it. It's more emotional than anything else. That's not necessarily the case in Cloudflare. And I do understand that President Trump has used Claude in the attack on Iran, something that he said wasn't going to be done, and now I understand it was be done. So AI being used, and as you know, there's been a big battle on OpenAI and the other companies because they didn't want to use this for those purposes. Well, it's being used. End of discussion. So as we look at it, you can see how the market's been slipping back. When you put the swing line onto Cloudflare, lower highs, lower lows, a classic bear market with that. When we look at moving averages, each of the past weeks, over the past month and a half, have rallied and gone to the 18-week average of closes and run into resistance there. The support should be either the lower of these moving averages or the Bollinger Band, and as it turns out, it's been the Bollinger Band each time. You can see that. If it gave ground, maybe you get to the 100-week average, but I wouldn't go bananas over that. And you're oversold as can be. So could this be the tipping point where we get down enough in the software and AI chips and all that, where the market ends the decline? That's what I'm thinking. So just to give you an idea, I'm not a bottom picker, but that's what I'm thinking. Broadcom, not really trending. It has a downside bias, but it's terribly oversold. Gap has fallen back to the 18-week average of closes. It held the support there. Is it going to be continuing? They seem to be running on a whole different way. Their product line's in good shape, and people are still buying that price point. On energy transfer, the market got back under the upper Bollinger Band, which is a bull sign, but it's not embedded. It's overbought. On a weekly chart, not. Just in an uptrend, it's difficult to buy it without a break. Rivian has come down, where I think Rivian's going to find support. If it breaks any further, solid support, 1345 to 1223. And the first time the market gets back over anytime soon, and I'm not saying that'll happen right away, 1848, I wouldn't be surprised if you're in the 20s shortly after. Now, Rocket Mortgage, okay, this was a week where it got beaten up, and it finished the week out with a 20-cent gain after making the lowest low. We've seen mortgage rates decline to where they're under 6%. Is that going to be enough of a catalyst to get Rocket out of this funk that it's been in? Can't answer that yet, but I certainly am not pressing the short side. And in Home Depot, you have an overbought market that's looking for support between the 100-week average in green and the 18-week average of closes. Uber, excuse me there. If we get a week where you close in the slow stochastic, right here, over 21, then I'm prepared to say a near-term low has been made in the market and maybe the low of this correction phase at this point. In FedEx, well, it's just been a run that doesn't let you in, and I've said that over and over. You've had 2 breaks, and that was it in the marketplace, and after that, it just latched on, and it's been one of these gorilla glue trades where every week you're just hitting the upper Bollinger Band, and until it breaks away, there's nothing you can do. I mean, if you buy it there, where do you put a stop? In Lilly, okay, I'm liking what I'm seeing. The market's finding its support at the 18-week average. I would not like it to get back under 1,002.46, which you can see is the low of the week before. But barring that, the market's offering the first signs that maybe this is where the market's bottoming out. Lucid is still coming down, and it still has the embedded reading. So while we had a good week to the upside, actually an outside week up, it's still not enough. You've got to lose that embedded reading to get this friendly. Walmart acts like the correction has run its course. So if the market this week stays up and over, number one, doesn't get back underneath 123.94 and closes stronger again this week, I'm prepared to say the market has bottomed out again and ready to go back to the upside. A market that continues to be a big disappointment for traders has been IBIT. It's embedded. It's bearish. I don't know how low this market wants to go. It is not up in early trading in the futures markets, even with gold up 120 an ounce. When we look at the industrial sector, how could this war not be friendly for parts of industry? I mean, just think of the munition makers. They got to make all these missiles. We have to replenish the Tomahawks, the interceptor missiles. We're going through inventory galore. In the energy, well, obviously, you know, the crude oil's up $5 to $7 a barrel tonight, and we'll see how long the war goes on and how drained out this becomes. OPEC decided to increase barrels today at 206,000 barrels a day, I believe is what they said. 206,000, but they're running at full production for all purposes. You know, the Saudis can produce more, but most of the others cannot. So it's more symbolic to me than anything else. In UUP, the dollar, take a look, acting very good here for a correction, but certainly not a bull market, not in any manner. It would have to close over the 18-week average of 27.54 to prove that that's taking place. In GLD, well, you know you're going to be up in the morning over the Bollinger Band. The question is, does it go through the 509.70 level, the old high or not? That's the only question I have. I'd be cautious about copper. It's not embedded. It's overbought, and it's not acting in the futures in early trade like it wants to move on any of that news. I'm sorry, got you to my news page. But we'll see what these markets want to do and how they all end up doing it. As you can see, we have a lot of action going on in the futures. These quotes are obviously from Friday that you're looking at. If you want to see my newsletter, because I write a lot tonight about what's going on in Iran and where I think things are going into different plays. All you need to do is go up here. We'll have Ira Epstein. There'll be a link to the pages that you can get to there. Same over here if you're watching me on YouTube. With that, I'm Ira Epstein. Have yourself a good evening, and I'll catch up with everybody over the next day or so. Remember, I'm away from Chicago right now. I'll be back into Chicago over the weekend. Take care.